Hello again painters and welcome. It's Debbie from acrylicpouring.com and today I'm trying out something a little bit new again because I always like to keep experimenting with new ideas and techniques. Previously in the past, if you look back, you'll see that I've actually blown some paint on a record, had a nice black background, and then I used red, yellow and orange to blow kind of flames through into the paint, and that looked really cool. So go back and look in my earlier videos. I'll put a link underneath where you can find it. Today I thought I would try and blow some paint again, but I'm going to try and do something a little bit different and create a painting with some negative space and then blow the paint out from the centre towards the corners. So I've got an ultramarine blue. This is a green that I've mixed myself, just almost like a Christmas green plus a little bit of yellow. There's a nice metallic teal, which I really like here, and then a cobalt blue and a white. So let's push those off to one side and bring in, I'm just going to be working on a tile today because if it goes horribly wrong, it's easy for me to just wipe that off and start again. So what I'm going to do is start with a puddle pour in the middle, I think, and then flood with white around the outside and blow the puddle out towards the corners. So we'll see what happens. I think I probably want to start with my darkest colour. So I've got all of my paints mixed in advance. Oh, let's bring a little thing over to put my sticks on. This is 1 tablespoon of paint plus a half a tablespoon of Floetrol and about a teaspoon of water and 3 or 4 drops of silicone oil. So I'm just going to add a little pour there in the middle, and then some of the bright green. I think that would be a nice contrast for it. And the metallic green, nice. And then I've got this cobalt blue in my squeezy bottle, so I can easily add a bit of that. And the white's in a squeezy bottle, so I can add a bit of that into the centre. And then maybe a little bit more of the dark blue. I don't want to start adding too much paint now because I do want to be able to leave some negative space. A bit more white, a bit more of the lighter blue, a bit more white, and because you can never have too much sparkle, a bit more of that one, a bit more of the lighter green, and then some more white. Okay, so time will tell if that is enough paint. So now I'm just going to try and fill in a little bit around the outsides. As I'm moving the paint, I think this is going to move and fill out anyway, so I think we'll start from there and then see what happens. I can always add some more paint if necessary, maybe a bit more around the outside, just to make sure. Okay, so let's give it a go with a bit of blow. Let me zoom in now so you can take a closer look. I apologise if I put my head into the frame while I'm blowing. One of the occupational hazards of getting down close to the paint. I'm also going to be turning it round as I go so that I can always continue to blow away from me. So let's see what happens. I like the way the colours are reacting in with the white here, so let's go. Wow, it's looking nicer than I expected. I've got not quite enough paint, so I still need to blow so I can get the paint just over the edges in a few places. I'm just going to blow a little bit more. A bit more on this corner. That's taken it over the edge. So now let's centre that up for you to take a look. Wow, that's really nice. So now I just want to check on my composition. It's not quite central, which is good because I didn't want it to end up being in the centre. So my centre is kind of just a little bit off from centre, so that's nice. I look as though I've got a little slightly heavier puddle of paint just there. So I'm just going to blow that bit a little bit out to the corner because I don't want to end up with a heavier puddle of paint that's just there and then end up with any cracking or anything later. That looks good. And as I blow, it does create little movements in the paint, which creates some interesting cell shapes. So, well, I'm pleasantly surprised. That did turn out nicer than I expected. I think probably I ended up in the end with too much coloured paint and not enough white, because I don't have as much negative space as I was hoping for, but I still think it looks really good. So now, if I just drag my brush across, I think I just need to fill in around these edges with a little bit of white, where the paint hasn't quite gone over in some of the spots. But as I touch it with the brush, it kind of drags down the paint that's on the surface anyway. Plus the sides of the tile are already white, so it's not really a big deal, but filling in with the white's definitely going to make it look a little bit smarter there, I think. So I'm just going to finish going around now with my brush and get any little edges, bits on the edge or the corner that have been missed, and then I'll come back and show you some details. Edges are all touched up, and here it is. Take a look at some of these details. Now I could torch it because the paint does have some silicone in, but actually I'm liking the way it looks already. I don't think I need to add anything more to it because I didn't have as much negative space as I wanted in the end. I think if I did any torching and I did get a lot more activity, it would just be very much smaller cells and it would probably make it look too busy. So I'm just happy with that as it is. I don't need to do or want to do anything else. I think it already looks glorious enough, and I'm really delighted with the colours. Normally my colour choices can be a little bit off. I certainly have no formal training in terms of any art design or colour choices, but blues and greens I think always going to work. You can't go wrong with that kind of colour palette. So I'm just going to set this one aside to dry. It really didn't take long at all to make. I was pleasantly surprised. And it's the kind of thing that I think you could create a series. If you did 4 tiles or 4 paintings all with the same colour scheme and blew them all, you'd obviously get a different result every time, but they would be matching enough that you could sell them as a series. It would probably also work really nicely on a large canvas. In fact, maybe I should go on and try and do something like that next. Give much more space also for the negative white space around the outside. So hold on there. I'm just going to set this aside to dry and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all finished. So here it is now dried and all varnished, looking glossy, shiny and lovely, and I think we can definitely call this one a success. It's one of the favourite paintings that I think I've created so far. So what I'm going to do now, I think I like this technique so much, I'm actually going to go on and create something in a much larger scale. I haven't really yet worked with any large canvases or any large pieces, but I do have a few large tiles, and I think I'm going to do exactly this same technique, maybe even exactly the same colours on a larger tile. So look out for that video coming soon. Hopefully it will be as successful as this one, and as usual, thanks very much for watching.